guys, it's DeathMonk here. Today we're going to be talking about some rather interesting blog posts that have recently gone live for Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 Season 5. Now, you may remember over the last few days there was a really interesting long blog post about what's going to be coming up on the Season 5 roadmap. And as you guys can currently see on screen, we've just received some map intelligence for the brand new multiplayer map called Punta Mar. Now, this takes place in Las Almas on day 278 of 1542. Involves the Specgrew and Cortac factions, and basically what it is a seaside tourist destination. It becomes the latest battleground for Cortac and Specgrew forces and operators sent into Punta Mar ready to skirmish. In this small 6v6 core multiplayer map, launching with Season 5, teams will fight across the streets and over the rooftops with a tight arena with little time between engagements. Watch the shop windows for enemy operators, use the side streets and alleyways to your advantage and keep pressing for the win. So the Cortac spawn point will be at the back lot in the east side of the map. It won't take long for the fighting to begin on this small map, but Cortac forces still have a few options in the match's opening seconds, namely whether they opt for sticking to ground level or climbing to the rooftops. On the ground, take the middle path to get right into the thick of the battle on the main road, or head through the northern alley or southern underpass for tighter, closer quarters combat. There are several easily accessible ladders leading to the rooftops of the nearby buildings for those looking to get above the action. Now, people, from what I've seen so far, have been getting this confused with the original Modern Warfare 2 map called Favela. Now, it does take a little bit of inspiration from Favela, but it's not exactly the same map. Now, if you remember the car scene where I think it was Ghost and Soap drive around in a vehicle with Alejandro and his buddy, whose name escapes me. This is like the same town that they were driving through during that little cutscene from the campaign. So that's interesting there. The Specgrew spawn point will be at the west side of the map at the construction area. While the Specgrew starting point lacks the verticality available to Cortac, the construction area is also closer to the main road compared to the back lot. Head north to access the top of the road with an even better view obtainable by climbing to the shootout balcony via the dumpster on the building's south side. Take the southern path toward the intersection to avoid the main road, instead focusing on short to mid-range battles. Watch for enemies firing from the second floor of stores or rushing in from the underpass. So that's interesting there. Route planning. For the purposes of the guide, they're breaking up Punta Mar into 5 main sections: construction, centre, intersection, rooftops and shrine. Construction. The open construction area features stacked supplies and large vehicles for cover when passing through. Of particular interest are the stacked paving stones. Hop onto the barrel beside them for a 45 view of all 3 entry points. Prepare to encounter enemies doing the same when breaching the area. A sticky grenade thrown just behind their position should convince them to move. Note the southern path leading in and out of construction. The garage here makes the perfect ambush point against passing enemies. Use it to cut down traffic in the area and look out for opponents inside when moving through. Centre. Including the tourist information and the buildings around it, Centre marks a natural hotbed of activity between the 2 major spawn points. Climb onto the tourist building for a commanding view over the main road, or fight for a spot on the upper levels of stores, shoothouse and hotel. On the ground, watch for enemies coming from the underpass or firing from groceries. With many available points of contact surrounding it, Centre is likely to be in the thick of battle for much of the match. Intersection. At the southern point of the map, intersection finds operators battling across storefronts. With intersection being located around equidistant from the 2 main spawn points, there will be a lot of clashes here. Fights are bound to break out between groceries and stores, and anyone moving through the intersection additionally becomes exposed to the centre. Move quickly and be ready to engage in a pinch. The blue truck offers solid cover against attacks from the north. Rooftops. Punta Mar features several ladders and other means of accessing the rooftops of the eastern buildings, providing operators with the ability to get high above the competition. From here, players can easily get a full view of the main road, though watch your 6 as enemies around the backlot and shrine can land shots from behind. Also be prepared to fight off intruders joining you here, so swap to your handgun if your primary weapon struggles to in close quarters. Shrine. The shrine in the backlot behind us sit in a fairly open area, so be mindful when moving around. The nearby green building and fire both face the shrine, with the upper level of fire providing another access point to the rooftops. When capturing objectives in the area, move into one of these 2 buildings afterwards to defend the point, otherwise just sit and duck to anyone on the rooftops coming through the narrow passage. So that's really interesting there. So we've got very interesting points for domination, search and destroy, So intersection will have the B flag, A and C. Let me figure this out here. Doesn't on A use the shrine for cover against the rooftops, then stop and fire at the green building to defend it. C must be in construction, so that's interesting there. Search and destroy. Just quickly scan reading this. A bomb site located on the second floor of fire. It's a good bet that the attackers will often favour the B site, which isn't as deep as the enemy starting to spawn. Okay, so B bomb site will be behind the blue trucking intersection. It's interesting. Hard point. There's a total of 8 hard points. So that's really interesting there. Starting in the centre and then moving north to the green building in backlot. Then the south first floor of shootout. Northeast to the bottom of stores. And then back west to the hotel lobby. Return to the intersection for the 6 hardpoint groceries. Fire control of both starting spawns beginning with construction and ending in the first floor of fire. So that's obviously, as you guys can see, is a lot of locations to remember in a Pacific order. So whether I'm going to remember that in a Pacific order, that's really interesting there. So that's Punta Mar. Now we're going to talk about the returning map from the original Modern Warfare 1 Strike. I'm pretty sure most of you guys will probably recognise this specific map. Takes place in Uzbekistan, day 278. Involves Cortac and Specru once again. In the sprawling urban centre, there's danger at every corner and enough traversable buildings to make you check both high and low when approaching the next objective. The map's larger size prevents ample opportunity to get into position before the fight begins. Will you move up in haste to bring the battle to the enemy right away, or melt into one of many power positions waiting for the enemy to come stumbling into your line of sight? So that's going to be interesting here. So the Cortac spawn point will be at the junkyard. I'm going to have to double check here. I'm pretty sure this is one of the OG spawn points. Now, if you've only just been starting playing Call of Duty recently, you probably won't recognise this map, but this was in the original Modern Warfare back in 2007, I believe. So this is a really old map, guys, for those who are OG like me. Starting from the junkyard, Cortac forces have several options at the start of a match, with each path card catering somewhat to a certain type of loadout. Mid-range loadouts perform well within the southern market route. Prepare to engage at the dividing wall. Those with closer range loadouts may prefer to book it towards the western clock tower, using its pedestal and the surrounding buildings to cut sightlines short. For snipers, the real prize is found along the central main street, a long route with a little visual obstruction down the length of it. A 2-storey building is essentially the hero of the map for these sharpshooters, as it will become a power position and focal point for combat early and often during a match. Now that's really interesting there. The other spawn point will be at the south hill. From the southern hill location, fast Specru operators get the advantage over the clock tower by rushing north to the second story of the main store. From here you'll have a powerful vantage point over the eastern half of the tower. You might also head east and up the flower shop stairs for a vantage point over enemies coming through the market. For snipers and other long-range loadouts, consider booking it to the west end of Main Street, where you're likely to encounter enemy snipers on the other side, so be ready to engage. So we've got route planning. So we've got junkyard and market, the apartment, the clock tower, shops, Main Street, hill, and flower shop. Now, this is probably my favourite spot of all the locations, the junkyard and the market. Starting in the northeast and running south through the market, this section offers a great means of moving up and down the map without being exposed to the central main street. Its narrow layout and plentiful cover pieces allow close and mid-range loadouts to shine in a map where long distances are the mainstay. There's also easy access to the apartment and electronic store for making a push west, both offering valuable cover when combat gets heated. Now, if you're true OG fans of my channel, guys, back in the days of Deathmark 992, you will notice that I used to play prop hunt a lot on this map, and I think I did pull off a few OG tricks on them. So I'm hoping prop hunt comes back one day to Call of Duty. Don't quote me on that, but hopefully it may happen at some point. There's also easy access to the apartment and electronic stuff for making a push west, both offering valuable cover when combat gets heated. Like I say, apartment. Now, I didn't go there that much back in the day, but easy to spot by the big laundry stand hanging out front. The apartment makes a critical point in the northeast section of the map, standing guard over the junkyard, market, crash car, and the roads leading towards the clock tower and Main Street. It's 2 levels offer multiple points from which to launch an attack, so an active player can attack on all sides. Clock Tower. Now, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think this is one where the one of the search and destroy points are. Surrounded by high walls, the Clock Tower and Culture Centre behind it mark another point where shorter range loadouts can perform well. The entry points from the cafe to the west, Main Street to the south, and an apartment to the east present some risk when holding these positions. But the area's central location gives operators a chance to cut off a major thoroughfare through the map. Lock down this spot and enemies will be forced into crossing Main Street. Now, apparently in the OG map, this room right here, the one I've got my cursor circling over at the moment, this room right here, you could actually snipe from that position. So that's a good sniping spot for those who want to overlook this area down here, or the street that's up there, which I believe is Main Street. This is another good sniping spot for those who want to come from Market into the Clock Tower area. Now this is that exact same building I was talking about, and that room here is the exact same room as this room right here. So, as you guys can see, the shops form a key area around the western section of Main Street, providing access to several interior spaces. The cafe and main store are great starting points for an attack towards the Clock Tower, with the open main store additionally looking deep into hill. The restaurant on the area's southern border offers a large ground floor interior. Hop onto the wall surrounding its outdoor seating for a raised view over the shops. Now, this is, I think, if I'm not mistaken, I'll have to double check this, but this is one of the streets. I wouldn't necessarily call this as Main Street, but that's interesting there. But Sniper's Paradise Main Street stretches nearly all the way across the map. Located in the centre, it's also a major crossing point. If you need to get through, take a moment to read the area and then race across using Tactical Sprint. Expect operators to occupy the buildings on its perimeter, namely the main store on its west end, the electronics store on its east, and the hotel along the bottom. Expect fighting from building to building, with operators in the street getting caught in the middle. Sandbags, barricades and other obstacles offer some cover in the street, but you'll still be highly exposed from multiple angles. Now this will be the street that the sniper's nest, if you will, this building here, would be overlooking. So hill, while not quite as concealed as the junkyard main spawn, the hill sits relatively apart from the rest of the map, at least when pulling back from behind Thorley's supermarket. Note that for this version of Strike, a new hallway was added for better combat flow, ensuring that an operator that holds up in the supermarket can still be smoked out through this hallway. When looking north, long-range loadouts can get some shots on enemies on the main store and even out to the shops. Note the balcony of the orange building here, so this one right here. This provides a good vantage point against enemies moving between hill and the flower shop just east, and watch for shotguns when traversing the tight staircase connecting hill and restaurant. Now there is a little cut through area right here where my cursor is. Now you can get through there if I'm not mistaken, so that's a good spot to get to flower shops. You can also go up here, which I think there's like another tunnel way down like the other end of that building, so make sure you guys keep an eye out for that. What else have we got to talk about here? Flower shop. Now, this is what that area down there heads towards. The flower shop provides a strong power position over activity in the southeast, with its upper level offering views towards hill over the market and a small section of the eastern main street. From the ground floor, its single front entrance provides a more concealed view against enemies coming in from the north. The gas station just east is also worth mentioning. While you can't get inside of it, the low stone wall and barricade offer solid protection when skirmishing in the area. So that's really interesting there. So domination, in the west, A flag sits within the restaurant's outdoor seating area, surrounded by high walls. Short trek from here to the B flag at the base of the clock tower, but the Delhi main street separates the two. C flag is in the eastern market, so that's interesting there. Search and destroy, if I'm not mistaken, I can't remember which one's A and which one's B, but B site will be at the flower shop, which I'm pretty sure, if I'm not mistaken, I think was the OG location back in the day, but I'll have to wait and see when the map eventually does drop. A bomb, if I'm not mistaken, I think was at the clock tower. Just double check that, unless they've changed it. Position over B, and to the imposter at the A site. Does it specifically say where he is? I must have been overreading this, hang on a moment. A site was positioned by the cultural centre behind the clock tower. Yeah, so A is at the clock tower, B is at the flower shops. So that's interesting there. Hard point. 6 total hard points on strike. From the Restaurant, the objective moves to the strike store on the other side of Main Street, then south to Flower Shop. As with the first two hardpoints, send the bulk of your forces between 3rd and 4th can now be formed an early lead in the match. From Flower Shop to Cultural Centre, where that's number 5, and number 6 will be at the apartments. So that's really interesting there. Make sure you guys learn the layout, get the power positions. I'll probably pick up some decent weapons if there are any. Easy pair packages. Bird's Eye would be recommended. Tactical Insertion probably be beneficial, especially in those mods that don't they're not like non-response, so Search and Destroy. Tactical Insertion will do nothing for you in that, but we'll have to wait and see. Let me know what you guys thought of those in the comments box down below. Now on top of this, as you guys are seeing, Call of Duty have put out an official tweet which reads, "One of Shadow Company's best, Arthur, no face, only a call sign." Additional Blackcell only Battle Pass content include 8 operator skins, 6 tracer weapon blueprints, 2 vehicle skins, a dog companion, and a virtual announcer battle assistant. So as you guys can see from this image, as you guys are currently seeing on screen, we've got Arthur, which I believe, if I'm not mistaken, I think was in the Battle Pass as an operator. So that looks pretty cool. We've also got his pet dog Merlin. I'd love to see him as a kill streak in maybe in Modern Warfare 3, but he's going to be a finishing move companion, if you will, there. So we've got a tracer weapon blueprint in the instant Blackcell Battle Pass. We've also got a new dog finishing move. We're going to get a new talking gun screen. Not quite sure how that's going to work yet. Battle Pass and 20 plus tier skips. We've got 1100 COD points as well. Bonus on top of this, 6 tracer weapon blueprints, 8 operator skins, and 2 vehicle skins. Looks pretty cool if I do say so myself. Now we're on to Medenas HD on Twitter, who's one of the known leakers. In Season 1 of Modern Warfare, I think I'm supposed to say Modern Warfare 2, there was a sign of a Nebula SMG barrel for the Lockman sub. This barrel wasn't even in the game yet and was scheduled to release in a future season. Now it now became apparent that its own weapon for Season 5 and is no longer an attachment for the Lockman sub. So this one's going to be called the MP5SD, which could potentially be the redacted weapon that's going to be released, I think, during the Reloaded update. So that's really interesting to look forward to. And finally, just to let you know, guys, upcoming Call of Duty dates, make sure you guys make notes of this. MW2 Warzone, so Season 5 going from August the 2nd to September the 20th. Season 6, September the 20th to be determined. I've also got Modern Warfare 3 rumoured dates. I'm pretty sure most of you guys will probably be aware of this. Now note, it says for the Modern Warfare 3 reveal, August to be determined this year. Don't forget, guys, we're expecting to become around at some point in Season 5. We still don't have a definitive date, but the roadmap did say mid-season, so we're expecting to be more or less close to the Season 5 Reloaded update, but we'll have to wait and see. Hopefully we'll get a bit more of a closer date some point in the near future. So that's really interesting there. Now, a few known Call of Duty gamers and things like that and content creators have received some rather interesting kit. Now, this is regarding a Paintball, if I'm not mistaken, some sort of contest or Vondel Battles. So new Warzone events letting the best players compete for $100,000 while representing Vondel's fantasy paintball teams called the Lions and the Drakes. The Vondel Battles have begun as of July 25th. So how do these work? Arena has partnered with Activision to host Vondel's very first tournament, which will consist of 5 separate events over the course of 6 weeks. So July 25th will be event 1, August the 1st, tomorrow will be event 2, August 10th event 3, August 17th event 4, August 24th event 5. During each event there will be 6 private match games of Vondel Resurgence trios with all participating teams. The scoring system is based on total elims and multipliers. The cumulative totals through 6 games will determine total scores for the week. The total prize pool for the event is $100,000, with a $20,000 prize pool slotted for each individual event. Each week the winning teams will earn the following amounts. So first place will 10 grand, second place 5 grand, third place 2.5, fourth place a grand, fifth place of $500. Bonus for first place at the end of the event will be an additional $5,000. The winning teams will then split their earnings evenly amongst the trio. There will be one final 7th game consisting of only the top 2 games for a bonus $5,000 prize. So 20 total participants will be taking part in these battles, in which 10 of them will be on Team Lions and the other 10 on Team Drakes. Lions and Drakes are the two fantasy paintball teams that you can find around the Vondel Stadium. Vondel Battles are being casted by the talented Taylor Noble and Sean Rogers on the Call of Duty Twitch channel. So we've got these 10 players who will be representing Team Lions, and these 10 teams will be representing Team Drakes. So that looks interesting there. So basically, DK Dynamite received a surprise Warzone package with a Lions themed merch. So he's got a paintball tournament drawstring bag, a Letterman jacket, a handwritten note, beanie hat, comfortable socks, custom patch, and a custom scarf. So let's take a look at this, what he's received. So it looks really cool if I do say so myself. You can see he's got the Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone logo. There's that Lions shirt, which is currently showing you right now. It looks pretty cool. You can see you've got further merch here. I'm just going to quickly pause that video just for a split second. As you guys can see, DK Dynamite. For the rest of the summer, the Lions will be facing off against the Drakes in a 5 tournament events known as the Vondel Battles. In preparation and celebration, we've sent you your very own fan kit. Please enjoy the merch, and we hope that you're ready to rep your team on game days, the COD teams. So that's really interesting there. So this is basically what he did receive. That looks pretty cool if I do say so myself. Let me know what you guys' views and thoughts of that in the comments box down below. Make sure you guys give him a shout out. Big special thanks to the amazing PR team at Activision for sending that merch. So let me know what you guys thought of this in the comments box down below. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell so I don't upload. I'll see you in the next one. Till then, peace out.